viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is John from Cloud Tech Inside. In today's session, we'll be talking about a new preview feature added to Amaozn Bedrock. It is very crucial. It shows a strategic shift from a code-based, a configuration-based, more of a GUI-based approach within Amaozn Bedrock. I'll be going through some introduction, going through some of those demos. And like I said, it's in the preview phase. A lot of things will change once it's generally available. I just wanted to give my viewers a high level overview and what to expect out of prompt flow feature within Amaozn Bedrock. To begin with, it's a GUI based, a drag and drop, and people with low code, no code situation can easily pick up and start building the application from ground up. It can use multi-model. You can pick and choose different models at different steps. A small model for a simple reasoning to advanced model for advanced reasoning within the same workflow. And this is available as a GUI as well as programmatic approach, whereby you can decide which route based on your team skill set. And this is a game changer because people with big barrier to onboard based on their skill set can easily onboard and start building these applications on Amaozn Bedrock. Another feature I want to highlight is the prompt management. The prompt management goes along with prompt flow. The prompt management is a way to version your prompt. Once you create a prompt, you can copy and paste your prompt into the prompt management and manage those versions of the prompt. As you evolve, start developing your prompt, and if you think that you want to revert back to an old prompt, you can always look at the different versions of the prompt available. So it's more like a repository for prompts, and these feature can be used within prompt flow by simply selecting a drop-down menu and picking the corresponding prompt and the right versions within the prompt flow interface. So something to keep in mind. And before we move on to the demo, I want to quickly highlight that my course on Amaozn Bedrock Learning Series is available on udemy.com. I will leave the link and the coupon in the description below. This is good for beginners as well as intermediate learners. Please support by subscribing to the course. Let's move on to the demo. Go to the Amaozn Bedrock console. Ensure that you have access to the models. Under the models access, you can request access to some of these models. And also, I will provide the information about a particular role with the trust policies on knowledge base, and the flows should also be created to be used in this demo. So let's go to the prompt flows right here. So I'm going to create a prompt flow here. Let's call it demo flow. You can provide the description. I have one particular role that I mentioned, which I'll provide information in my GitHub. Ensure the trust policy has the flow, knowledge base, as well as Bedrock. Otherwise, this may not work. So we'll provide more details on that. So I hit create, it gives you a flow input and output is the beginning, and flow output is the end of the prompt flow. So within prompt flow, you have two options. One is the nodes. Nodes show different options, connectors, conditional prompts, lambda function, etc. A lot of these prompts. And like I said, this is in the preview phase and things will improve and you will see more nodes here. So this is just to provide a high level experience on where they're heading, how the drag and drop GUI based approach work within Amaozn Bedrock. So in this demo, we're gonna demonstrate flow where more of a conditional flow where the user inputs questions around Athena and other tools, and it routes based on if it's Athena, route it to the data related question knowledge base. Otherwise, just say we don't answer, or provide a link for some of this documentation. So it's a very simple flow just to demonstrate how it is. And then once it's created, we can save and create those versions and test it using the test prompt flow. So this is an interesting piece. Once you design, you can always test it using the test your prompt flow in the side window right here. So let's get started. Let's talk about the prompt. So basically, You see the prompt. When you click on the prompt, the configure window shows up for the prompt, and you can also pick the prompt from the prompt management, which is the new tool or a feature within Amaozn Bedrock where you can store and version those prompts. So each time when you enhance those prompts, you can see what are the previous prompts and the corresponding performances. So here I'm going to define the node. I'm going to pick the models, which is Anthropic, Haiku. Once the model is picked, we're going to add the prompt. So very important thing to here is I'm running a classification based on the user input. I'm going to classify it as a data question or anything else. So here my prompt might look like this, saying classify the user input into one of data questions if the user asks about Athena, glue, lake formation, or others for anything else. So if you ask basically any other questions, even non-AWS questions other than these three, it should route it to a different direction. So I'm do categorical output from this prompt so that the corresponding conditions can verify what is one of these and then route it to the right direction. So like I said, this is going to give you two outputs. One is data questions and the other one is others. So based on that, you can decide which route to route it to. So keep in mind, unless you put the variable, which is in curly braces right here, you won't see this circle right here. This appeared only when you provided the variable. Otherwise, it won't appear. And you will not be able to connect like this. So see, the question goes directly into the input. The model runs against the input, classify it, and comes it out as an output. Basically, it's just a category. I'm clearly saying answer only the category, nothing else basically. And there are options to run the inference. You can tweak the temperature, the top peak. And there are a couple of options here where you can say what are the expressions, what does the input look like, what is the variable for output. So this is the output right here. Now, once the prompt is defined and it categorizes variable, the next thing to add is the condition. So I go back to the node right here, pick the condition, and then make this prompt to the condition. So now the condition gets the input in the variable called condition input string, and now you can define your conditions here. So when you define a condition here, you want to click on the condition. It opens up the conditions configurations, and you can define the first condition right here. So I'm going to condition equal to data question. So that's the output. If the condition is data questions, I want to route it into certain way, and if the condition is in, let's say, others, I want to route it to a different path completely. So these are the two conditions right here, and now for this particular condition satisfies, I want to route it to a knowledge base. So let's pick a knowledge base from the node menu right here. So I'm going to pick the knowledge base right here. So click on the knowledge base again, it shows up the configuration window, and you can select the knowledge base, something I created before the demo. It takes time to create the knowledge base, so I created it early on. And again, two options, just retrieve those bits and pieces of information or generate a response. So you can use a better model like Sonnet in case, a bigger model like Sonnet to respond based on the input that you get from the knowledge base. So once that is done, I'm going to connect this to the knowledge base and the retrieval query. So this retrieval query is the query that should run against the knowledge base using the Sonnet model, and it should originally come from the input, which I am connecting to the retrieval query. So now it has the input, the question that has to be run against the knowledge base. It has the knowledge information, it has the Sonnet model attached to it, so it has everything to go. Once it runs against and produces an output, the output text goes to the flow output right here. So if there's a data question, it should output, run against this knowledge base, and provide an output on the interface. So once you are done, you can save and exit, or you can just hit save, and it takes a few minutes to get the status up to, or else you can create a version and then you can use that version to play with it. So this is another version of the demo workflow, and this is now created. So I'm just going to hit edit prompt flow and want to see how it responds. So I simply asked a question around Athena, so it should understand that it is a data question, and it should route to the knowledge base where there's only one document which is regarding Athena. So it spits out those requests or the response based on the user question. So similarly, if it's something else other than Athena. What else? How should it answer, right? So now we have a clear path for the knowledge base and for data questions. Now, how do you define the other path? So if it's anything else then other than the prompt, either you can put a prompt or a simple lambda function here which responds saying I don't want to answer or something along those lines. So I'm gonna put the input to the prompt here, and I'd like to get one of the flow outputs. Flow output is right here. So these two will separate, and in this prompt I can just probably use a simple model like Amaozn Titan Light. Just respond on we don't have the documentation. Once that is done, hit save. But let me try out few prompts. What is EMR? Let's give a completely different question. App stream. So this means that it takes few minutes to set up the flow. So probably we'll have to save and exit. So it takes few minutes until the status is prepared. So understand this, it needs that level of time to prepare and publish the version so that you get the latest word to play in the prompt window. So now the flow is ready. I'm just going to ask the same question. What is app stream? It should respond by saying that it's not able to respond and unable to find the documentation. So it gives you a different response each time, but I just want to show you this is how the flow works. If you want to auto arrange, you can arrange this button right here. So overall, this is a game changer. It's more moving towards a GUI based approach for an AI flow, and this will enable a lot of people to onboard pretty quickly. Different personas like business analyst, business folks, testing team, fresh developers, etc. can quickly onboard to Gen AI. I think this is an interesting feature, and we'll do another video once it is generally available so that you get a latest information about the features. I'm calling it a wrap. In the next few videos, I'll be introducing you to some of the advanced features within SageMaker, Bedrock, as well as come up with some of the generative AI strategy videos. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for latest information. Signing off, John.